Hola familia, it's Alex. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. So today I'm doing my next update of Pan That Face palette. You guys, I am panning the Cover FX palette as well as the Tarte Pro Glow original palette. My mouth is all tongue-tied today. I promise you guys, this is not the same day as I filmed last week where I had the same hairstyle. It just so happened that I'm filming today and I did the same hairstyle because I did not feel like washing my hair today. So this is where we're at. So I promise you I did not wipe my face off to redo this look to film again. This is a whole nother day. Today we're actually having a barbecue in our backyard, so I'm trying to film this to be ahead of the game because after today, that's it. I'm done. I'm done and giving myself a little week's vacation from filming, at least. Not editing, but filming. So anyway, you guys are here for the update on these two palettes. So we're going to get into it. But first, if you're new to my channel, welcome to the familia. My name is Alejandra. I'm an eyeshadow enthusiast with a dash of Project Man. If that is something that interests you, subscribe, join us. And now, let's get on with the update. Alrighty, folks, so let's do this, shall we? So I have a very exciting update for you guys. Last month, if you tuned into my last month's video,
my goodness, I cannot speak today.
I had asked you guys for opinions and suggestions on what to do going forward with this Project Pan. So I think I have come up with an idea. We're going to test it out for the rest of the year just because I want to see if this is something I want to start out with next year or maybe go with Plan B next year. I don't know. You guys gave me amazing suggestions and I think I found a good balance of things that are almost done or things that I know I can finish or show you progress versus things that I just want to make them look used and abused and maybe in the future completely pan them. So I'll get to that after we're done with the updates. So let's get on first with the updates. All right, let's start out with this palette right here because I feel like this palette will be quick and easy and to the point. Last month I told you guys that I just wanted to get more use at it, more abuse at it. I had some usage on it, but not a lot. And now as you guys can see, it's basically the same thing. And I'll be honest with you guys, I think I've only reached for this palette one time since the last update because I wanted to just focus on the other palette. The other palette had one highlighter left and I really wanted to finish that off before I concentrated more on this palette. So this palette basically looks the same. A lot of you guys had gave me suggestions on using this specific shadow, the contouring shadow, as a shadow on my eyes, as a brow color, as a bronzer kind of thing. So I'm going to play around with those ideas now that we are in the summertime and I can maybe get away with this one using it a little bit more. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going to be blunt and honest. I touched it probably one time and that's fine with me because I know I will get more use out of it. It's just I wanted to concentrate on the other one first. So this will be something that'll be more used going forward. Now let's move on to the shining star of this Project Pan. This is my Cover FX Light Medium Perfect Light Highlighting Palette. Last month I had only one of these products left out of the four and I had hit Major Pan, and within the Major Pan I really gotten most of the product away and gone, and I really concentrated on this one specifically because I knew that I could show you guys finally it being done. Today was the last day I used it. As you guys can see, it is completely done. This palette is filthy. Yes, I didn't feel like cleaning it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but it is done. I really had to scrape the last bit of whatever was left in here in order for me to finish this off. I am wearing it today. Can you guys kind of see that? It's beautiful. It was beautiful, I should say. I think I do have this as a single, not celestial, but sunlight. So I know I have some sort of highlighter from Cover FX and I believe their highlighters are gorgeous. I personally like them. I feel like Cover FX, now that Becca's leaving, Cover FX is going to be up front and center for me for a brand that I want to use going forward in the future now that I'm getting more mature skin because they really do great complexion products. Becca was going to be it for me, but now that they're leaving, Cover FX stepped up in the game because I feel like their complexion products are really good, especially if you don't want something that's like trendy or in your face and showing stuff. So anyway, that's besides the point. So I'm happy I finished this off. I have a palette done, you guys. 6 months in, I finished this palette. I loved every minute of it. You guys can see how dirty these are because of the powder products I would puff in here. It was getting powdery towards the end, but I really did not have an issue finishing this off. It actually went rather quickly. Again, because I mentioned to you guys that when I first started to use that shadow, I was using it evenly. So when I got down to the pan part, it went even quicker for me. So I'm happy to say this is done. This was completely brand new, never touched until I brought it into this project pan. Very happy to get this out of my collection. One less face palette that I will have in my collection. You might think my numbers will go down, but I did get some for Christmas, so this will just kind of like even out stuff for me, basically. So I'm happy. It's leaving. It's done. I'm about to leave my hands right now too. About to fall on the ground. But yes, we finished the face palette. My goal is always to at least finish one face palette a year, if possible. Not necessarily more than that because I know it's impossible. Not exactly impossible, but more difficult than easily done. Okay, so you guys, for going forward, I will be concentrating now on this palette. This will be my only highlighting palette that I will need and want to use and play around with. This is the palette that I want to hit pan on at least one or two of these if I possibly can. I want to use and abuse it as much as possible because now this will be up front and center. So now you're wondering, Alex Stoll, do you have another palette? I did mention to you guys last month that I did have a palette that I was considering replacing this one as soon as I was done, but then you guys gave me amazing suggestions, and here's what I'm going to go do going forward. I am going to have always a palette that I do want to at least do a lot of damage to, and that's going to be this one for the rest of the year. I highly doubt I will finish everything in this palette in 6 months. There's absolutely no way. But I can do enough damage that in the future, if I decide to completely pan this palette, it'll be easier for me and not something that's going to be a chore. Because this was brand new again when I brought it in, a lot of product is still in here. But I can see myself in the future picking this up as my face palette to pan with less product in it because I'm using and abusing it this year. So this is going to be my primary focus this year. And as you guys know, I like a secondary palette. I always like a secondary palette to go with. So I got the idea of doing a rotation. So every month you guys are going to see me randomize a palette to bring in alongside this one to try to see the formula if I still like it, the formula to see if I can even pan it, the formula to see how I like it on my skin, so on and so forth. This will give me an idea. At least 6 different palettes will be rotated in because we have 6 months left to just play around, just give myself a break with just concentrating on a specific palette. It's going to be difficult if I bring something else in to go along with this one because this is going to be difficult as it is. So I'm not going to give myself that hard task to do. I know myself and I'm going to get bored, annoyed, and bothered, and I'm not going to do any progress at all whatsoever. So I'm going to bring in my trusted Tiny Decisions. Tiny Decisions. I put in all of my face palettes in my Tiny Decisions. You guys are going to see live which palette or Z palette full of singles that I do own that will be rotated in each month. My goal for that specific palette will be just to use it, play around with it, familiarize myself with it. If it is brand new and I never touched it, see how the formula is doing now that it's been in my collection for a while to see if it's even worth me keeping or panning in the future. That's my goal with my secondary palette each month. So here we go, you guys. I'm going to hit the button and we're going to go for it. Can I get away from Cover FX? Apparently not. So it looks like I am going to go pick the Cover FX Soft Peach palette. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I am going to share it with you guys so you guys know exactly, so you know exactly what palette we are going to be playing around with for the next month. All right, so here it is, you guys. This is the duo. Now, I should have mentioned to you guys, I kind of mentioned it, where my face palettes, anything that is more than one product that consists of being on the face is what I consider a face palette. So a duo is a face palette kind of for me because it's not just a single blush, a single highlighter. It is more than one. So I also have Z palettes of singles that I have put together as a palette. So it's considered a palette to me as well. So what rolled in for this month is the Cover FX Monochromatic Blush Duo in Soft Peach, which I have never used. I bought these last year, I believe, when they were half off. And I'm picking peach, which is awesome, you guys. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm actually very excited. This is the first time I'm touching these. And that's why I'm doing this, because I need to learn to use more of my stuff. So you'll see duos in here, and this peach one I think will be perfect for this time of year. It'll help me out with another palette that I am panning in a different project pan. So this is what this one looks like. It's gorgeous. I can definitely see myself getting use out of this one. I'm going to see it. You never know. This could be something I could roll into a different project pan in the future. I know people love this, and the formula of Cover FX, again, their face complexion products are just amazing. I fell in love with them with their old packaging, and I've continued to enjoy and love their products. They have really, really good products. So I am not going to complain about this. So this is just going to be used and abused. I want this to no longer look new. I want to familiarize myself with the formula. I want to see how I like it on my skin tone, especially now with a tan. I think this is going to look even more pretty than it does look like in the pan. And I will use that highlighting blush part. I know I'll use that. There is no way I'm not going to use that. Yep, I'm going to mix these two together. Trust me, I'm just going to swirl. We're going to swirl and have some fun. Swirl and pop. All right, guys, that is it. I hope you guys like this. I took a lot of your suggestions. I felt like this was the best way to incorporate both things that I love. I want my makeup to look more used than abused, but I still want to get some things more used and concentrating on. So going forward for next month, I want to see more usage on these highlighters. If anything, I know that the matte powder may not be used, but the highlighters. Now I got to start concentrating on the highlighters since this is going to be my main focus. And this duo just to make it look more used and abused. So next month, let's see what we're going to get, because I don't know. Who knows what we're going to get? It's all a mystery. All right, guys, I'll put more videos over here for you guys. Until then, adios.